Live with the Vice. Hope you guys are having a good day. We didn't have a pre-show today because I was trying to get a few things set up here that didn't quite work out, but we'll get them all set up for next time. But hope you guys are out there are having a good day, and we got a story to tell, and we have gathered all of our cast together once again to share with you the story of the Vice. We'll start off with just our quick announcements. We do run our channel 100% for charity. This month we are supporting Project Semicolon, which is such an important organization. Jeanette, do you want to talk a little bit more about Project Semicolon?
Absolutely. If you go down, the little doobly-doo will tell you a little bit more. But Project Semicolon is an organization that is used to equip people with the correct information about suicide awareness. I'm losing it today. But yeah, we also have two numbers that you can get a hold of if you're feeling a little sad. The suicide hotline and the crisis text line. They are both numbers that I have used before. I recommend them highly if you can't talk to a friend or a family member.
Yep. So, folks, if you do feel in need of help, Project Semicolon is a great resource for everyone to use. As Jeanette said, their numbers are down below in the doobly-doo. We keep them up all year round. If you do feel alone and like you need help, or that there is no one to reach out to, there are professionals waiting there 24/7 on the other end of the line to help you get through whatever you're going through, and make sure you stick around with all of us to hear all the stories there are to be told, including telling your own story, because your story is not over yet. With that, let's introduce and meet our players. We've got just 4 of our players today. A couple of them, one of them is sick, another one is off doing fun things in real life. But we have these 4 with us who are amazing and ready to share with you. Let's start off with Bird vs. Plane.
Hey folks, I am Bird vs. Plane. I'm going to be playing Iskatal, the half-elf bard turned gunslinger, who's had some revelations about her soul, her arch-nemesis, her father, her father's fate, and his arch-nemesis. There's been a lot going on. But first, we might have to fix our broken boys.
This is true. Speaking of broken boys, hey VK, how are you doing? Good Guy Pie.
I have no clue what you're on about. Everything is wonderful, and we're just all... Hi, I'm Good Guy Pie, and I will be playing... I haven't done the voice in a week. Luck Goatart! Adventure extraordinaire, and Blood Hunter, and everything is fine. It's fine. It's fine. I don't leave me in a room on my own. Is what I've learnt. Don't leave me on a room on my own. Is what I have learnt today. Last session.
Next up, we have Tree Hugging Druid.
Hi. I don't know what just happened to my voice. Hi, I am Tree Hugging Druid. I play Celia Rollerin, our high elf rogue. She's fine. She does roguey things. She's off doing roguey things right now.
She is off doing roguey things right now. And last but not least, we have Dragons or Cats.
Hello. Hi everyone, I'm Dragons of Cats, and I'm playing for Darlycrin, our moon elf warlock of the Hexblade Lysithia, the Forged Eclipse. And he's doing his casual moon elfy thing, trying to talk kids into picking up where he's going to leave off when he dies. And then losing their trust. Good times.
Yeah.
All around.
Yeah. And weebs. How you doing? So yeah, about that. Believe it or not, our party has only been in Falcon's Crest for 2 whole days, and what a mess they've made of it. They have done quite a few things. Plot has developed in a bazillion different ways. Lots of fun and excitement, but to really get you caught up, let's take you through. Yesterday, it was an eventful day for our party members. It started off with a reading lesson at the orphanage with Luck and Iska. And was actually quite a wonderful moment for Luck, where he was able to sort of get back in touch with his family side and actually regain some of the centering of his sanity that had been slowly slipping away from him. At the same time, we had Axel off doing some researching of spells, and in the midst of doing so, found a mysterious clue, leading him to an organization that he has been chasing literally across the continent, known as the Eternal Keepers. It was a riddle, a puzzle, that the party pondered over into the night, trying to figure out exactly what it meant. Iska, after the reading lesson, went off to finally catch up with a man named Ambrose, someone who she'd been pointed towards all the way back before they went through the Viceroy's Highway and the Midnight Weald, and upon finding him, realized that he, in fact, had been the mentor of sort of her arch nemesis, but peculiarly, it was very peculiar because as she spoke with Ambrose, Ambrose spoke of her nemesis as being 8 or 9 years younger than him, he being about the same age as himself, Scraticus. And the Bati, her arch nemesis that Iska knows, well into his 50s, or age is always in his 50s or 60s, and being of somewhat Fey ancestry, certainly much older than that, in fact. Lady Purple, they found out from Ambrose that they needed to head out and steal a mysterious substance known as Argerite, which they found when charged with the energy of Luck's Crimson Rite, seemed to nullify the soul right constructs that Bati was making. Some type of anti-soul energy that Luck somehow was channeling through his Crimson Rite. After a break-in and a harrowing battle with a clockwork chandelier, the party went back to the lab, where our good friend Kiance Brassharp looked at Iska after hearing her name as Iska Tall, wondered if she in fact was any relation to Alwyn Tall, which was kind of a bombshell, as that is Iska's father, who she has never met. Upon delving a little deeper, Kiance gave to Iska a violin, a fiddle, in fact, that was once Alwyn's, a fiddle that was untunable. And after some investigation and some clever reckoning, puzzling out, found that inside of this fiddle was in fact a map. Actually, a sort of coordinate-based map that could be deciphered by Luna, their good friend, their party member, who is good with her cartographer tools and was able to help to plot out this map that had been left as a clue from Iska's father, directed pretty much directly at her. Party returned back to their room at the Windward Star. Vidar, seeing some strange lights that spiraled up the side of one of the towers, as he, being an elf, was up a little later than the rest, found a stairwell that led to the top of the tower and to the namesake of the Windward Star. As Falcon's Crest is always submerged in deep fog through the night, there is a magic around this tower that allows the stars to be seen. Up there, he bumped into a disguised Sethander, a Genasi, an air Genasi that they had met on their first day here, a druid of the Circle of Echoes, who seems to be able to wild shape into other people instead of into beasts. And Vidar, after having a discussion with him, steered it in a way which Sethander read as being manipulative, and Sethander ran from the tower after hoping that Vidar might guide him towards some knowledge that he had been seeking. Ran off into the night, leaving Vidar with less than a month to live at the top of the tower. Back in the room, while Iska slept with her dad's fiddle sort of cradled under one arm, Luck decided he wanted to experiment with this sort of anti-soul energy that he had discovered earlier in the day. It didn't go well. In the course of in the course of experimenting with it, he began writing the names of his wife, his children, and finally one and almost two members of the party on parchment, as they then would burst into flames to the sounds of scratching and voices in his mind. He finally was able to make his wisdom saving throw and stop himself from continuing down this path. But when he ran to look in a mirror, examining himself, knowing that he had been changed before by these energies, sort of got lost in his own eyes, and in doing so lost a bit of the sanity that he had just gained, and it manifested itself in seeing time pass before his eyes. He lifted his young puppy Grain up to his chest and watched Grain grow into a full-sized dog, and then to a gray-muzzled older dog, and then just the decaying corpse of a dog. With a blink, it was back to normal. But everything around him was the same way. With every blink, he sees time as it progresses across his compatriots, living things, even the rocks around him. For those of you who are familiar with Dragonlance, very similar to Raistlin. Luck retired and went to sleep, and as dawn breaks, Vidar has returned back to the room after taking his reverie up on the tower, and is called in by Axel, who found Luck sort of leaned up against the wall in their bedroom to try to get him into bed. Luck opened his eyes, and when he looked at Vidar, he saw Vidar not age, but just fade away and disappear. And when he looked at Axel, he saw his Tabaxi friends form age and decay, and as the skin sloughed off the skeleton, beneath that Tabaxi fur and skin was the skeleton of a serpent. And that is where we will pick back up, with Luck looking between blinks into the faces of his friends and all around him as time continues to play across his eyes and his senses, tainting all things, not with the beauty and life that they have currently, but just the decay and death that will visit them all.
He stands there, wide-eyed, hands shaking, as he tries to find something to say, but it all comes out in a stuttered jumble of words. Snake. What the? Oh, God.
Like, take a moment. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. Axel, go get his stuff.
No.
Okay. All right. Is there anything we can do?
I don't know.
We can help with.
I don't know. Just keep saying you're there. Are you there right now?
I'm still here.
Keep
Still
saying
here.
it. Keep saying
Right
it.
here, buddy. We're going to go for a drink later. We're going to go. We're going to take you to this bakery I know.
Keep
It's gonna be
speaking.
Wonderful. And you know, I also met a friend the other day, and they're some sort of sailor, and they're telling stories about the stars, three sisters. I told them about the cradles. It's a wonderful experience. Did you know? No, I should probably not tell you about that.
As like he's sort of like looking you dead in the eyes as you're saying everything. Keep speaking. Anything.
Iska, roll me a perception check as Luna has gone back to her tub and you have gotten your map. Yeah, you're so excited about the violin and such. Whatever. So how are you just staying in your room with the violin and the map, or are you going to head down to sort of where there's fruit and stuff on the table down below?
I think for at least a few more minutes, she is kind of reveling in the violin and the revelation of everything. I mean, she's taken aback by it still, so she is very, very fascinated by it.
Okay.
But at some point, that hunger is going to start calling, and she'll have to go downstairs.
Okay. Back to Luck and Vidar.
Yeah. Have you met Ishkrin's cat yet?
Tell me about the cat. Keep telling me about the cat.
Okay. I summon Lyle to my hand, and the ring's attached to Lyle, and I pull the cat out of the ring and into my arms. It's a big, huge tabby cat. And I go, I have it in my arms. It's wonderful. It's got wonderful grey fur, blue eyes, huge claws. It's a big cat. Would you like to hold him? You can pet him if you want.
No.
Okay, no worries. I'll just set him down here. This is a refugee Iskrin brought with him into this world from his previous lives. This is where his troubles all started. It's a cat.
Tell me more about his troubles.
Oh, which life do you want to hear about?
Any, go.
All right, I tell him a story about the merchant prince one. This rise to success and fame through trading of first, building up spices, building up weapons, and then it's basically Jabba the Hutt style.
Yep. Okay.
Play.
So, Luck, that's a fairly long story. I mean, what are you just trying to have? What is Luck thinking right now as he's listening to Vidar's story of Iskrin's life?
He's just looking at Iskrin and just...
Eyes are open.
Eyes are open, staring at him.
So, as you're staring at Iskrin, pretty much between each blink, you just sort of see Vidar just keep fading out. What's interesting is, in his arms, the cat does not. In fact, the cat doesn't even seem to be aging.
Oh, yay, more trauma.
As you watch, as long as you can hold your eyes open to blink, or in a normal amount of blinking time, the cat doesn't seem to age at all. I mean, if you glance to Grain, you see Grain once again grow and grow old. You see Vidar fade out fairly rapidly. You see, you usually probably, I guess, will try to blink before you see Axel's skeleton appear again.
Yeah.
But the cat... It's like looking through normal eyes at the cat.
He's like taken aback by this, but at the same time, his eyes are just staring on the cat, like he just like knowing whenever he blinks, the cat's still going to be there. He's using that as an anchor point to his own mind. That cat's not aging. There's something that cat is something that I can use.
Okay.
Essentially.
Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
14. The cat just sort of sits there and looks back at you, and your mind calms a little as you found something that isn't just a constant reminder of when you look elsewhere what you see. Your vision is still affected, but you have a hold of yourself now a bit. You feel like you have control again. The scratching inside of your skull has lessened. You're back. You're feeling maybe that you're holding it together.
I guess the overarching theme of the story was, don't be a dick and be selfish. She was quite selfish at the time, but doing a self-destruct to basically solve his problems was not the smart thing to do, or the means to end his mission. But, you know, Nine Toes guy, this Eladrin.
Yes, Iskrin. Yes, Iskrin. Yes.
Yeah. You also, you know he doesn't have a soul? Yeah, I found that out last night.
Yes. You. Hold on. Vidar. That's it.
Yeah, sorry. It's life.
Yes. Okay.
You feeling alright, buddy?
Things are dying. The cat's not dying, but other things are.
Okay. Okay, we'll focus on the cat. You sure you don't want to hold the cat?
It just being here right now is a gift.
Okay. I understand. I'm gonna go get some water real quickly for you.
Okay.
And I'm gonna exit the room, get an ear of water, and just basically do a look over, see if anyone's here, and I'll gesture that Axel to maybe stand to the side out of his vision so he doesn't keep on going skeletal on luck whenever he blinks.
Yeah. Yeah, you just know things are dying, and, you know, Luck is staring at the cat. Axel, hearing that, is certainly interested in, unless Luck stops him, Axel will provide a new voice of, things are dying? What do you mean things are dying? Stuff is dying?
Axel!
Can you explain more of that?
Things are fine, and then they die.
But, like, you're seeing things die, or, like, things are actually dying? Because none of us out here are dying.
That's good to know.
The cat's not dying, though. The cat's not changing?
Cat's fine.
Like, is it, like, bloody death, or, like, they just are... I mean, how are they dying?
Really not the time.
Oh, right, okay. I'll stay with you here. Yeah, well, actually, we're going to go out to the kitchen, because by that time, again, that story's probably about 30 minutes or so. Iska's, I assume, has probably wandered down for, nice, there's a nice big bowl of fresh fruit, which is rare up here on Falcon's Crest, but, is sitting there on the stone table because it is, the the room is a little bit on the chilly side just because it's a very large stone room. The hearth is, mainly the hearths in the bedrooms are lit to keep you warm through the night, but the main room's hearth is grown low, so it's a little cooler, but it also makes the fruit nice and chilled. So Vidar, as you step out, you see Iska there at the table.
Morning. Chomps down on some fruit.
Morning.
Hey, is Luck up and awake? He's gonna be late for reading lessons today. I'll just go get him. And she gets up to start heading towards his room.
Do a quick slide and be like, Luck might be missing today.
In the Cilia missing way, in that.
No, he's just missing
okay,
class.
or-
Just missing class. He's focused on the cat right now.
Is that
And I'm gonna get some water. I'm gonna
I
pick
don't-
up the. No, it's in a literal sense. Come on. And I'll just say, just poke your head in. Just have a look.
Okay. And she'll get closer to the door, and very slowly, I think even before she opens it, she will even call into the door like, "Hey, big guy, coming in," and begin to not go all the way in, but kind of wait for a response as that door begins to creak open.
So Luck, what do you actually roll me a D100 and call high or low?
Oh no.
I'm gonna
Why?
I'm calling low.
Okay.
Oh!
And it's way high. The cat hasn't been changing, and there's that split second of just sometimes when you're on the phone and you're talking to a business person, you say, "Love you, bye," just because you're so used to it. Iska coming in for a split second doesn't bother you. And, "Hey, big guy," you're like, "Come in," and look up.
Yeah, come on in.
Iska pokes her head in. And as you look at her, you see her face almost look like it becomes covered in shadow, as though it's somehow shrouded. You see it begin to age. But as it ages, it becomes a different face. And then an old man's face. And then a young child's face. And hundreds of different faces start playing across her visage. It is as though standing before you in Iska's clothes, it changes from person to person to person to person to person to person. Young, old, male, female, elf, human, dwarf, tabaxi, hobgoblin. 100 different faces play across in the time it takes for your first blink. And then it's Iska. And her face becomes shrouded again. And then when your eyes sort of adjust to the sort of darkness, it seems as though it's inside of a cape or under a hood of some sort. You see underneath of that visage these shifting, different faces. Young, old, male, female. Nice. All alive, though. None of them rot to death.
This is going to be a very long week.
You doing okay today? I hear you're not going to reading lessons. Is everything all right? Something about a cat?
You do see the big bobcat sitting at Luck's feet. The sort of fey-looking bobcat.
Turns back to Vidar before turning back to Luck. What's going on?
Things dying. Something's not dying. Cat not dying. Your face changing.
Take
A
a
lot.
breath. Take a breath. Take a breath. What happened, Locke? How did this happen?
Have you ever been an old man in your past, by any chance? Or maybe your future? You ever considered becoming a child at some point?
You know, I hadn't given it much thought before now, whether I wanted to become an old man, but what are you talking about?
Everything's not good. Some things are dying. Vidar's disappearing. Your face is changing. Cat not doing anything.
Okay, then focus on the cat and understand that we're here.
Okay, you're here. Right now, saying stuff. It's good.
She'll approach and kind of position herself. Are you standing up or are you sitting down?
He's sort of standing, like huddled over, like that.
She will position herself where she is behind you. So even if you opened your eyes, she would be behind you, and she'll just put like a hand on your shoulder, just as a reminder that we are here. You know, hear me and feel us, that we're here with you. But also you are staring at a cat and something about a cat, so she just doesn't want to complicate things any more than they are.
Right. Okay. We're here. It's a cat. It's not changing. Cat. It's a cat. It's definitely a cat. It's not changing. Other things are, though. Why is the cat not changing?
Luck, in the past, it seems like these things have just kind of happened. Is this another one where it just happened?
I think I did something that I wasn't supposed to.
What did you do?
I don't know. I did something.
Okay.
Keep breathing. Keep calm. If you want to tell us what that is, that'd be great. But if not, I understand. If we can help, though, if knowing what happened could help, we're here, Locke.
Names. Names are written.
Names are written.
Names.
Written by who?
Me.
You wrote down names? She kind of like perks up for a second, like very proud, like, look, it's only your second day. Sorry, what do you mean?
They burnt. The names burnt. Ashes.
Like, lit up?
They burnt.
Can I look around for evidence of this?
I mean, it's actually it's out at the dining room table. Well, I think that probably, yeah, you were out there, but also, it's a big table. If you were by the fruit, where he was sitting is sort of over to the other side of this big, long stone table where he was experimenting. So you can go out there and look if you'd like, if he points you in that direction.
I'll head out and go for a little look-see.
You find what looks like someone has, burnt parchment on the end of the table, and you see a quill standing next to it that is unburned. But the paper is burned. And, of course, as flame spreads, you couldn't tell what the initial writing was that burst into flame.
Oh, actually, while Vidar left to go check out the dining room, Iska will like lean in a little bit closer to Luck and kind of say in a hushed voice, "Is this the same thing that happened in the ring?"
think. Related.
Can we control it, Luck? Can we stop it?
I tried. How it ended up like this. I think. I don't know. Things are degrading. Dying.
Okay.
No, cat. Back to the cat.
Back to the cat. It stopped in the past, Luck. Things have settled down. Maybe this will settle down too.
I don't know.
I don't know if this will do anything. Gosh, but like would I guess identify or something like that. Would that help me at all, or would? I'm not sure if identify applies to just like a person in general. It's okay to say no.
Well, what I'm thinking is, I think if you verbalize that, Axel has a rune that he can cast for insight. He can use his insight rune.
Ooh, then yeah.
So if you sort of, I can be Axel. Do you muse out loud of let me see if I can help, or?
No, I think she turns directly to Axel.
Because you've seen him use this before. His hidden
Axel,
lore.
you've been able to tell what things are before. Do you think you could try with luck to see if we can figure out what's going on?
I think so. I think it'll work on a person. Just give me a second. And you see him reach into his bag and pull out a gem and start carving on it one of his runes, and reaches and places it up. Luck, can I put this on your head, Luck?
He looks up to Axel, sort of eyes closed when he says that. Sure.
If you feel anything change, Luck, if something happens, just say something, okay? Let us know.
Okay.
And he places it up on your head, and he sort of looks interestingly at it. He goes, "It's not a curse or anything. It's in your mind, Luck. It's how you're perceiving things. You're seeing time."
I don't want to see time. It's awful.
Well, also it's kind of obvious, but you're really worked up about this. Can you try to calm down? That might help.
Calm down. Calm down.
I could do this a different way, Luck, but if you can do it yourself, I think it might be better.
I can find something. Anything.
Tea?
Tea.
Whiskey?
No. Tea. The tea house. Sojourn's Crossing.
Okay.
It was back then. It was a nice sun setting then.
Terrence's Tea Terrace, yes.
Yes.
Out looking over the Dragon Ghost Plains. We were all together.
Right.
Okay. Luck, if you'll do me a wisdom saving throw at advantage. Ooh, on a 21, which you needed every bit of that. your mind starts to calm, and as you sort of drift through that, you let your vision sort of think about the many sunrises you saw over the Dragon Gust Plains, and how it was sort of this, for weeks, this sort of infinite repeating set of rolling hills. And your mind calms down, and if you get up the courage, you can look away and see what you see. Look away from the cat and see what you see. You're muted.
Damn.
Okay.
He breathes, looking slowly up, turning the head towards Axel first.
You see Axel there, and when before it was literally within the time of a blink, he would age and all but skeletonize. You see his features maybe take on 20 years of aging, but not all the way to death. It seems as though the effect has slowed down quite a bit that you're seeing.
Okay. Better. I can think. Better. Better. Good. Good. You do not age well.
Axel sort of looks at you kind of funny, and what do you mean?
You get this weird grey patch right here.
Oh, yeah, my dad. Well, I'm not. I think, if I think it was my dad who had that. Our family, our whole tribe, would get a gray patch on their cheek.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's see if I don't know. Iska becomes an old man again.
What?
Is he again? Head slowly but surely.
Who does he look toward? I'm sorry.
Iska.
Iska. You see Iska's face still becomes sort of shrouded by shadow, but it doesn't seem to shift into another person's face. It just becomes shrouded.
Strange, but not freaky.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Magic's weird, I think. Whatever this is.
So we're gonna call in sick today. Right? We're not going in to the orphanage.
Okay. Let's see how I'll walk. How I can manage a walk. How about that?
Sure. Let's grab Vidar. And should we check on Celia?
Probably.
So, as you look up and mention Vidar still fades away.
And he's gone.
I mean, before he would completely disappear.
Yeah.
But over the course of a blink, he pretty much does fade almost completely out of existence, down to like 20% transparency. But before, you were losing him entirely.
I've cleaned up the names. I don't know what you want to do with the quill. If you want to hold on to the quill, we can put that somewhere else for the moment.
Just put it to the side.
Okay.
As you guys say that, Axel sort of goes, I'll start out the walk with you, but then I got something I want to do. And as you guys, anything special y'all want to take or leave in the room? Or thanks for the bits! Take or leave in the room before you all head out?
Well, I do grab my snazzy cut and I put it on off the tray.
Yes, off of
This
your
damn tree.
the damn tree. Yes, all of your equipment hanging on this giant bronze tree.
And I look over and go, guys, it's a wonderful, like, just immediate area to just, you know what, that's okay. And I just put it on my gear.
Okay.
Not on.
Luna.
Actually, she will lean in to Locke just to lighten the mood a little bit and be like, "Don't tell him this, but he is right. It does fill the space really well."
And as you guys head out the door, we're going to move over to Cilia, who has spent the evening out and about, doing roguey things, as rogues do. So let's just start off as you do your nighttime activities. There's a certain element that uses darkness and fog to move around in. You are one of them. But they also are careful like you are. So for the types of places that you were... I guess first is the question is, are you actively engaging or just observing some of the more nefarious elements of the late night Falcon's Crest?
She would just observe.
Okay. So I need 3 stealth checks from you then, and you have your cloak on, so of course they're at advantage. Because the 19, on the 27 and the 27 and the 19, you let me just at least I gotta give my people at least a fair chance.
I mean, they have disadvantage.
Huh?
They have disadvantage.
Oh, I know, but I'm gonna at least,
And we never saw Cilia again.
The cloak is so good.
Okay. So you skirt through the evening, observing, and a few things that you pick up. You do see some of the telltale tattoos of and markings of the masked dragon moving about, interestingly enough, not wagons or anything that'd make noise, but hand carrying parcels through the fog and through the night. You also up on the rooftops, as you of course use everything at your disposal to move around and to get to places where you're not. Roll me a perception check. Okay. You do see every once in a while out of the corner of your eye, sort of out of the shadows of architecture, things that move. And you aren't quite sure what they are, but something else uses these rooftops to get around. Now, certainly it could be the masked dragon, but you've seen them mostly in the streets. You've seen them mostly in some of the corridors that go under Falcon's Crest, drain sewage areas. But there's something you're sharing these rooftops with. That's about all. Oh, go ahead. Any specific areas you want to concentrate on, or?
Yeah, I want to check something real fast. Um. Where's it at? There it is. Okay. Yeah, she kind of takes notice of that, and like kind of the places that she's able to kind of see, like from, I'm guessing she's like noticing this like from her peripheral vision,
Yes.
stuff like that. When like she would kind of double take and stealth over, see if she can find any like footprints.
Okay. Do me an investigation check.
Why?
And we'll use your stealth that you had. You stealth over and over to where you're sure you saw movement and examine around on the ground and all around the area, looking for footprints of any kind, anything like that, and to no avail. I mean, most of these buildings here are stone. Their roofs are deeply pitched, so any sort of dust or debris, all you find up here, or what you find around the rooftops of most of Falcon's Crest, which are the statues of gargoyles.
Yeah, if she's like not able to figure out or see like anything else, she's gonna do a rogue thing, and she will follow the masked dragon folk.
Okay. You do see one of the ones that you see carrying kind of in a pseudo-roguey style. They're not very good, but they also might be just, I don't want to look like a rogue, so I'm going to walk the streets like I know what I'm doing. But they're being too attentive to just be someone who's not up to something, but not sneaky enough to not be spotted, if you kind of know what I mean. And you follow them, you pick them up out on the Stoneward Wash, and follow them down through the areas, down into the overhang district, and into one of the shops there. And there is a small little inn that they go into. Give me an insight check. On a 12 with your background, yeah, those drunk people out front are not drunk. Those are guards. This is probably a front. And you see quickly flashed but very subtle use of thieves' cant. You're too far away to pick it up with your 12 insight. It's a little bit obscured, but you can see fingers move, that something passes between one of the drunks passed out in front of this sort of side alley tavern and this courier, that they then are able to walk in sort of unimpeded. You do see that they are actually let in. It is late at night, but for an inn to have its door closed and apparently locked is a little suspicious as well. While there does seem to be, through the windows, an open establishment. Do me a perception check.
Why?
This one's easy to see. When the door opens, you see that the interior is dark, even though the windows are showing as though it's light and has people inside of it.
All right. So Celia's gonna take the braid out of her hair and transform into Isolme, please.
You can't yet. It's too soon. It's
It
not been 36 hours. Because you changed back. It's only been 2 days. This is literally the night of night 2 in Falcon's Crest. You transformed into her night 1, back into Celia, and so yeah, you can't get back to Isolme tonight. You can tomorrow night. Because it hasn't been 36 hours. It's only been 12 since you first transformed into her.
I thought it was 24 hours.
Nope, because it goes with the moon.
Okay. Then she will note that.
Okay, you note the sign. It's called the Sleepy Lizard Inn.
Okay.
You can do an investigation check if you want to see, find anything more about it if you'd like.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Ooh.
There we go. That's better.
There's Celia.
There's Billy.
As most buildings here are, it is a multi-story building. There are windows on a second floor and a third floor. What you aren't aware of is, and you've already, just from your little bit of being around Falcon's Crest, even though they might be all under the same roof, they literally might not be connected facilities, so to speak. It could be that there's a staircase outside entrance to the back that only goes to the second floor, and that the second floor and the first floor aren't attached, or the third floor and the second floor. You know what I'm saying is that you very easily could have stacked the equivalent of individual buildings. They just happen to be stacked on top of each other. So there's no guarantee to access the lower floors from the upper floors on the interior, but there are windows.
Okay. Yeah, she knows that the Masked Dragon knows what she looks like, and it's at this moment that I wish so much that Celia had asked for that hat of disguise. Yeah, she will make a note of that, and she will come back
You can make
at a later time.
Yeah. As it is getting late in the night after all this, you can certainly, with all of your thieves' skills in a big town, you can find yourself a protected place where you could do your quick, your 4 hours rest, and when morning comes, do some more of the errands that you were wanting to do.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
you in the fog, it's not hard for you to find what would be a easily defendable sort of nook up on one of the rooftops, sort of over on in the area close to where you're wanting to go, sort of up in the knot area, and the sort of nicer parts of Falcon's Crest. It's quite easy to find someplace you are able to take your 4 hours reverie, and as light is just beginning to break through the fog, and you get start hearing the sounds of sort of Falcon's Crest early morning coming to life. On the Stoneward Rush, the smells of baked goods begin to sort of float up into the area. People sort of opening up shops, getting to early morning things. Not a lot of horses or wagons here, so you just sort of don't have those clattering sounds that you have elsewhere. But certainly you do have morning arrive, and the ability to sort of talk to less shady people
All
of
right.
the city.
Yeah, she's actually going to go to, like, oh, my coworker just got to work. She will go to, hello, Mitchell, like the merchant area.
Okay.
And she's gonna ask around there.
Which specific thing are you've decided you are going to ask about in this case?
She will. This is going to tell them everything. She will ask about her parents. She's not going to say anything about her parents. She's just going to say their names and kind of describe them a little bit. As far as like what she kind of remembers.
Okay, do me a investigation check of, because you're just sort of picking out random moon elves, right? Just to sort of kind of ask about, or are you? What? Yeah, how are you going about this? Are you literally walking up to folks on the street and just start dropping your parents' name?
No, absolutely not. No.
Let me just clarify here for a moment.
No, she would, first of all, she's gonna try, she said, she's like, it's gonna be a very big, like, push, but she's gonna try and see if she can find, like, any moon elves that have, like, a symbol of Falwinari.
Okay. So yeah, from where you actually sort of spent the night, the Stoneward Rush will be the place where you would have many of the sort of upper class of the city, folks who might be work within the Falwinari embassy or on official Falwinari business, would be going in and out of the of Sentinel Row. And certainly you could ask one of them. And on 18, after one or two, you bump into sort of an older gentleman in sort of scholarly robes, who seems to be sort of rushing along towards the main gateway into Sentinel Row. And you're looking for someone. Is that what I gather?
Yes. I'm looking for a couple.
Specifically from Falwinari, and you sort of see his bushy eyebrows, which are white, sort of crinkled together. He actually kind of seems like he might like groom them. They're like very well, all like manicured, long eyebrows. His sort of bald pate is sort of shining in the morning as he's been rushing along. Still, a little fog in the air, so it's sort of he's gathering dew basically upon his sort of bald head.
She nods. She says, "Yeah, they're from Falminari. I have news about their daughter."
Oh, well, perhaps in the Hall of Ancestry at the Falinari Embassy, there are many people who are interested in their genealogy. Of course, Falcon's Crest and Falinari being so closely tied after the Sylvan War, many like to research their names and families. Perhaps there you'll, of course, need to get access to Sentinel Row, but that might be a place to start. That's where you could certainly check for names. Anything in particular about this family that might set them apart from others?
She nods. She says, the husband's name is Zarleon, and wife's name is Carlanthia.
Oh, lovely other names.
And last name Paranoran. I'm here to inform them of their daughter's death.
Oh, grim news. I can't say that I know of them myself. I have not moved in the court circles or even the higher echelons of Falinari for years, but like I said, the Hall of Ancestry would be a place, and that would be a good place to start. Of course, with grim news, do you know if they were religious people? Perhaps at Matron Square, you could find someone there. Certainly, if they're missing a daughter, they might have checked in with the local church, the clergy.
Would Celia know, like, if her parents worshipped anybody?
Go ahead and do me a history check.
Okay.
23.
20.
Mainly the main goddess of Falinari is Sethanane, is one of the main goddesses. However, there were some other religions there. You don't remember being taken to churches as such as a child. Also, somewhat, once Tara was born, churches, church got to be dicey very quickly, as being a genasi. There was already sort of growing movement within the religious community about the genasi. So you would have been very young to remember by the time you left, as being only 12. By the time when Terra was born, that was 6 years earlier. You were only 6, so you don't recall going to churches before Tara was born, and certainly after Tara was born. Your parents got very private, didn't go out with you much in public at all, or with Terra. Sorry, Terra. I've got a friend named Tara. Sorry.
Then Celia will just nod, and she will hold out her hand and say, "Thank you very much."
He kind of bobbles a few things that he's carrying, but sort of reaches out and gives you a sort of short handshake, because he's trying to still keep his belongings bugged. Oh, no problem whatsoever. No problem. I hope you find them. That's good of you to try to bring them news. Everyone likes closure.
Celia smiles and nods, and then she's gonna head off towards she'll head to the temples first, just to be
okay.
And at that, my coworker is here, so time for me to go home.
Okay, so we'll jump back to the rest of the party while you transfer to your home computer, and we will see what they are up to.
Alrighty.
Cool.
Bye.
Do the screen shuffle.
Do the little
Doing
bit of
screen-
screen shuffle. We are pretty close. We're a little bit
break.
off, but
No.
so actually, it looks like we need to get Vidar back here as well. Doo-doo-doo. And
In
you're.
the meantime, we are raising money for Project Semicolon.
Thank you.
By no means are you expected, required, or asked, begged to donate. If you can, it's great. If not, just educate yourself on Project Semicolon, an organization that does its best to make sure people know that their stories are not yet over. Mental health is unbelievably important right now. Gosh, it's so important right now. Please, by all means, if you are feeling down, depressed, anything like that, reach out to friends, family, loved ones if you can. If not, please use one of the phone numbers below to call and talk to somebody. You are not alone. I promise you, you are never alone. So please, please, priority, take care of yourself and help take care of those around you.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. In fact, since we've lost luck as well, why don't we go ahead and take our break real quick? Well,
Popped up from the ground.
Still, why don't we take our break real quick? Because I need to
Yes.
take a bio break.
Cool.
And let you guys do that. We will be back in just a minute or two, folks. I'll get my cameras sorted out and all those good things. And so, yeah, we will see you in just a second and be right back.
Let's rock, window, roll.
Well, you know what time it is. It's time for Pun of the Week.
It is time for Pun of the Week.
The past, the present, and the future walk into a bar. It was tense.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible.
All right, good guy, do yours.
All right.
I claim I'm back. Yeah, I was muted there at the beginning, folks. Sorry about that. So,
What?
Wait,
What?
So,
We gotta do two since LNG9 isn't here. We
Okay.
gotta make up. What is a sadist clown's favorite joke?
what?
Punishment.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Just bad. Just bad.
All right, let's do Vice stuff.
Let's do Vice stuff.
Yeah, back to Vice, guys.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you guys head on out of the Windward Star. You are getting pretty familiar with the area surrounding where y'all are staying, as you all have been there for a couple days. It seems like so much longer, but yeah, you guys have been there for a couple days, and it is fairly intuitive down here, as you are in the Overhang District. That, as aptly named, sort of hangs over the edge of the plateau. It is where a lot of entertainment is. There's a lot of shop here. It is sort of the bohemian artistic district. It is where you found Siren Strings, where you met up with Ambrose. It's where the music shops are. It's where lots of other things kind of are. Are you guys following your nose? You know that along the pathway out of the Windward Basin, out of the Overhang District, through the Windward Basin, leads up to the Knot, and then eventually to the orphanage, Tangled Braids Orphanage, where you guys normally would be your second day of reading lessons for luck. So how do you guys head about? Do you kind of take a meandering, just let's see how we're doing walk, or what's up?
What's the I feel like Vidar might be the one kind of leading us here.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm guessing that Luck is a little trepidatious in terms of
Yeah, it's
even looking
it's
up.
a little slow. Yeah, it's very slow.
Okay.
Well, as they go on slow, Vidar takes this moment to do a lot of window shopping, just going over a lot of things. You know,
Yeah, it kind of seems like this walk is not really one with a destination. It's more like, let's get some fresh air to Luck
Okay.
and let him slowly acclimate to this new wrinkle in his life.
Yeah. So Luck, first thing for me,
traits and bring them over
do
to
me
him.
a wisdom saving throw just to see how you're handling being around the crowd, and then we'll then tell you what to do next.
21.
On a
Actually-
21, double 21s, blackjack across board. You were expecting it to be worse. It is not horrible. Do me a perception check at advantage.
25.
On a 25, you're still being affected by time, but it has slowed down a lot. The only there's once in a while you will cross one of the shorter-lived races that you're able to really make disturbing. Or the other interesting one is when you catch teens right at puberty, where you see these kids who just are sort of growing taller and older during that weird growth spurt. But your mind is starting to settle into this, calming down a little bit. Iska, I need you to do me a perception check.
Why though? Okay. Perception. 18.
On an 18, as you head up sort of through the Windward Basin, you're as you sort of have taken a little more meandering instead of direct route before, you find yourself off on a side cross street. And on an 18, you smell a familiar smell. It is the tea, that sort of light chai tea that you were offered by Keans just, last night over at his shop. You can recall him mentioning that there was a shop that he got it from. Didn't know where it was, but on an 18 and with Iska's sort of tea, nose for tea ever since the beginning of the campaign, you can pick it up pretty quickly and pretty clearly.
Oh, and then she will kind of like sniff in the air and kind of get that sensation, Phil, and see like Vidar bouncing in and out, going for his trinkets, going for everything, and know that Luck is kind of going through a hard time, but the tea earlier centered him, so she will bring up, it's that tea from yesterday at the shop. Luck, remember? The music shop? Do you mind if we go get some? It was really pleasant, and maybe brewing some later will help out de-stress a little bit.
Let's go get some tea.
Cool. Hey, and she'll flag down Vidar.
You see, he's got like roses. One's like blue, the other one's purple, the other one's pink, and it's just like, yeah.
And she will like look at you, but like look at the roses for a second, like, oh.
Yeah.
Have you tried tea yet? I can't remember.
I've tried
You wanna try that?
I've tried tea. That was nice.
This is gonna be even better.
I'll come back for the roses later, and I'll leave the merchant just like wondering, just like, like bye.
And we are going tea shopping.
Tea.
So, following your nose, you make your way through the Windward Basin. Again, this is a mainly stone construction, sort of more just sort of basic in its construction. It's not as basic and sort of run down as the Knot is, but certainly not as fancy as the Stoneward Rush type area. Buildings are functional. Streets are a little bit narrow, and as you turn a corner, actually, it's probably only about 2 or 3 blocks from the Siren's Fiddle, you turn down a smaller alley, and similar to the Siren's Fiddle, you see a lot of these signs, so you can look down the alley and see. And about 3 down, you see there's sort of a bay window. There's some tables that are set out sort of on the sidewalk out in front of it, and seems to be where this stronger and stronger smell of sort of spiced chai tea is coming from. You, I assume, head your way down there?
Oh, absolutely. We're getting close. This has to be it. Come on. It's all on me. Let's go. And she's excited for this.
Yeah, you get there and see the sign that where the smell seems to be coming, and you remember the name. It's the Tea Hive. And it is kitschy, to say the least. You walk in, and it whoever owns or had owned this place has decorated it a lot. It seems to be that it has taken over the space of some sort of earlier something shop, maybe a larger area, because all along one wall there are these alcoves, these big arched alcoves, and in the alcoves are beautiful mosaic tiles, and they are expertly done with very fine craftsmanship. And you can see where someone who is not quite as talented has tried to use paints to paint the other wall opposite with similar scenes. On that opposite wall that has been painted, you can see all these sort of smaller sort of jars, barrels, tins. Most of them are open with scoops in them with all types and assortments of different types of tea. But what you smell brewing is the specialty. There is a counter deep in there. It is, of course, made out of stone, as most things are. It has been painted. It is a garish pink countertop that it has been painted with small chairs in front of it. There actually are people sitting at the chairs right now, as this seems to be a little bit of a popular place. And you see kettles sort of back behind, where sort of larger boiling kettles with spigots on them, probably using boiling stones or some other type of technology to brew up apparently what's sort of a new batch of tea. You also see back there along this back wall behind the countertop, jar upon jar of different colors of golden honey. Seems to be that tea and honey is what is served here. And as you walk up, you see a sort of older gentleman wearing long, sort of flowing robes. Just kind of lots of tassels, lots of little sort of bangly bits on them. Half elven, has dark, long hair, looks as though probably it's not been cut. Well taken care of, but has been let to grow for years. Comes almost down to his waist. Very long and very straight. And just sort of goes, well, hello, how are you?
Real quick. Those mosaics on the wall that had someone else, does it remind me of the bar in
East
that had stuff like painted to kind of whitewash history and everything? Or does this just look like sloppy craftsmanship?
The painted walls on the far side just look like someone who doesn't know how to paint very well. You can see they were trying to paint similar things to the mosaics, which are very well done. The mosaics are tile mosaics, inlaid tile mosaics into the stone. You see there's tables basically are set in each of the alcoves. There is the only open table right now is a table that has a mosaic behind it, which seems to be, as you closer inspection, as I assume you're looking around, sort of blackberries and raspberries, all these different types of berries in them, with showing bees sort of pollinating on a lot of the flowers. And so it's sort of like all these berries and bees on this sort of white, light blue sky background. But everything's very large. Like a blackberry is probably almost as big as this. It's almost as though you're sort of doing a close up of the pollination process and these sort of flowers and bees, and mainly these large sort of succulent looking berries that like especially like a blackberry, each one of the like sort of small nodules is its own tile. So it's quite convincing. It's a really, really well done set of mosaics.
Okay.
Well, we've got new customers. Yeah. That's nice. That's really nice.
Yeah, I like this place. I like this place already.
First time, actually. This is
New
beautiful.
visitors.
This is so loud.
Well, we figure you kind of keep it loud on the walls so you can stay nice and calm on the inside.
Oh yeah, this guy's speaking to me. This guy's speaking my tea language.
So you want some tea? This is your first time in Falcon's Crest into the tea hive?
Yeah. We had I had a blend the other day from Keese and Brasshop. I don't know if you know him, but he served something.
He's such a great customer. Nice guy. Really good.
Yeah.
Good people.
Yeah. Anyways, we smelled the smell, and yes, we would love some tea with some honey.
Oh, yeah. So, do you have a preference, or can I just fix you some newcomers up something special?
She kind of looks to the other two and let him work his magic, I guess.
Yeah, let him work his magic.
Well, it's not actually magic, but, you know, we try to keep everybody nice and happy here, and if there's an accident, that's just the way it was supposed to be.
You
Just
seem...
look over the luck. I just look over at luck and just go, yeah. Whatever happens, happens. You know that.
I like this guy.
She leans forward a little bit, like over the counter or whatever, or wherever we're at.
Yeah, you're up at the
She's
counter
like,
at this point, yeah.
My friend here, the big one, he's a little extra tense today. So anything you could do to help him relax a little bit.
Take
There's
the
any kind
edge
of-
off a little.
Yeah, exactly. You seem very good at never having an edge. So if you could help, that would be great.
Oh, yeah. I got a nice blend. That's going to be great. A little bit of caffeine, but it's not going to get you stressed out. Tell you what, take that table over there. You sit down, relax. I'll be right over with your tea.
Show me the way, Magic Man. Show me the way.
He just sort of points you over to the one that the table it's kind of like almost like a booth that's built into the table. I'm sorry, a booth that's built into the alcove, sort of a half circle, sort of sitting below these bees and berries and all that type of stuff. Oh. Hey, and she's back.
I'm back.
You get to meet D&D Bob Ross.
You do get to meet D&D Bob Ross.
I love this.
What?
Yep.
They're at the tea hive. It's kind of chill. They're relaxing a little bit, calming down luck. Don't you worry. Happy accidents. So, yeah, you
Real
guys...
quick, I want to actually give a shout out to Belgian Blues for the perfect Bob Ross comment. Happy little teas.
Happy
Just
little teas.
happy little
Just happy little teas. So, so you head over to the table, and you sort of see people sort of coming in and out. There are some people who are quite in a hustle, which doesn't seem to affect this gentleman at all. And then you see others who seem to be just here to kind of set down, sort of get out of, take a little bit of the chill off after the fog, and you know, just kind of have some tea, set a spell. So this elf, half elf, it takes a little bit it gets your hot water, comes over with 3 cups, and comes over and with a sort of small jar of loose leaf tea, and there's a strainer, sort of a bamboo strainer in the top of each one of the cups, so that you're able to basically, you know, brew your loose leaf tea right here at the table. And he goes, well, some people like to make a whole pot, but, you know, I think everyone should have the tea just the way that they like it. So we brew right here in the cups. If you like a pot, I can bring you one, but this way you can, everyone gets a little bit of what they like. And if you want to try one of our other teas off the far wall, you can just go get yourself a scoop and bring it on over. Let me know what you get at the end. We'll make sure it all comes out.
Teach me everything, please. She like whispers under her breath. She is in heaven right now.
Well, we have
Yeah,
a
but
tea course that we can take you through. It's 27 different teas. Luckily,
Gosh.
it takes a whole day to do, but if you just want to have a nice, even day, come hang out. We have a special room out back. I tend to paint a little. You can too.
Looks at Iska, go, yeah, let's do it.
We're doing it. We're doing
We're
it.
doing
Oh,
it.
her whole body's tense.
Well, only on the weekends, but we can get you signed up for the next time, a couple days from now.
Yes, please.
Luck, you want to
Yeah,
sign
so
up? You can just
What was your
anybody?
name again? I didn't catch your name. I'm Astra. It's a pleasure. to meet you.
Vidar Lycran.
Vidar. That's a great name. Those some pretty eyes you got there. Interesting.
Stop it. Stop it. I was born with them. Born yesterday.
Aren't we all, though? Every day, everyone's born new, aren't they? Whole new day to explore.
Yeah. Really see the world in a day.
You know, names are an important thing. They really are. They say that people who touch you in your lives, you have to pay attention because name is a powerful thing.
Names.
Always pay attention.
Names hold many weights.
They do. You
Many
never
burdens.
know. Never know what secret someone's name might hold. And you are? My tea aficionado here?
Oh, I'm fine. Iskatal. She like loses herself and doesn't do the fake name.
Yeah. Why, Iskatal. It is a mighty fine pleasure to meet you. So
You
what
too.
brings you to Falcon's Crest?
Looks to Vidar and Luck.
Just a little bit of business. We're here with the Linford family, just doing a bit of investing here and there, bit of business, you know, making sure that products get from A to B.
Understand, yeah. It's time. Good to
Hold on,
take a
there we
little
go.
step back once in a while. You can get caught up in all that money and
Wait.
politics. Try to enjoy yourself while you're in town. See
Yes.
the sights, take in a show. Got some.
Speaking of which, do you know any good ones that are on? I saw a couple of straight performances the other day, and they were pretty good, but to actually sit in the grand theaters.
Well, solstice celebration, we're going to have shows everywhere. Main amphitheater will be going all week long. Well, all week long, but it all builds up towards the end there for the big final celebration. And of course, the Cobalt Cloud, you know, for nightlife, that's where everyone says it will be.
Cobalt Cloud.
Oh yeah, you can't miss it. It's the big airship. It was the first, you know, first airship.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of romance and story around that one.
Yeah.
I like to paint it every once in a while. Remember the
you
glory
having a-
days, right?
Ah, yes. A long time ago. It's a while ago now.
Keep it all up here. Even if you can't see it, you can read about it, and that's just as good, right?
Exactly.
Even when you read it, you see it.
Ain't that the truth? And you. We usually don't get youngsters who are sort of as big and brawny in here. Usually you get not quite people, but you are welcome here. We appreciate you, my friend. What is your name?
Look, Goldheart.
Goldheart. Wow, that's nice. That's a nice name. Goldheart. I can tell by your face. You live up to that name, don't you?
I try.
Well, you keep trying. That's all we can do, right?
Right.
Iska's like making eyes at Vidar as the two of them are having a conversation, just like pointing, just like
Like, look, it's never met someone just so mellow. So he's a little taken aback.
So, you obviously have seen your fair share of hard days' work in your life. It's good to work with your hands and, you know at the end of the day that you've accomplished something.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell you're
Right.
a little tense. But you know what I can also tell you? It's gonna get better, my friend.
I
There's
mean-
still good things out there. Just gotta hold on to the good and let that bad just flow right on by.
And on Luck.
You guys enjoy your tea, okay? If y'all need anything, you let me know.
We will.
Okay. Good to see you.
You too.
He sort of, it just sort of real kind of strolls back over behind the counter. You know, just sort of washing cups, doing things. No hurry.
So he's great. We're doing that
So-
course.
So can we keep him? Can we get a mini version of him to put
Will
in
you
our
say,
back
will you
pocket?
say his name one more time so I can type it in? So I don't-
Astra. A-S-T-R-A.
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh. Astra, my love. Okay, got it.
Astra, my love.
Vidar just leans in.
We don't.
Oh, we got a RoboPie. Vidar leans in and goes, I need to try and get my coin pouch back off Celia. We need to invest here. We need to be friends.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
We should find Celia. We should find Celia. Right? We should find Celia?
We should find Celia. Oh god, we should have asked Axel to send Celia a message.
Yeah, Axel would have already had gone his separate way
Yeah.
at this point. So,
Well, there's nothing we can do about it now. As she lifts the mug, trying to replicate Astra's attitude.
Yeah. Yeah.
so any discussions happening over your tea, or are y'all just gonna sit back and mellow for a little bit?
What's the time?
You all left again. You were up pre at crack of dawn. It's probably y'all probably stepped into the shop at around 9 o'clock. So you've got and it's sort of towards you're about 15 minutes away from the orphanage. So you've got about 45 minutes if you wanted to try to make class that you would to just spend here at the Tea Hive.
If Luck actually says that out loud.
He was asking the party at the time.
Oh yeah, he Vidar just pulls down his cup. It's brunch time.
What?
It's like the in between of breakfast and lunch.
There's
I had
an
it
in-between?
yesterday. Yeah. You could call it second breakfast if you want.
I guess brunch works better than
Second
Breakfast.
breakfast. Yeah. I had a fairly in-depth discussion with a man about that yesterday when I was introduced to it. It was a wonderful concept.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did.
So as you guys enjoy your tea, we'll go over to Celia. So Celia, you were heading up to Matron Square.
Mm-hmm.
And let me get on my Matron Square page. Doo-doo. So not far from where you were is Matron Square from the main gates. You arrive. It is basically a large semicircular sort of open space that has multiple temples that sort of face out into the yard. Being from Balathera, which does not have a lot of religious establishments in it, do me a history check, just a flat history check. On an 11,
All right.
you have never visited these temples. That's not how you know them. One of the things that you did learn in the Obsidian Order is often people do display their, religious devotions in amulets or whatever. So to know that what some of their symbols are, so that you can identify them when someone tells you that, oh, that person wears a brooch of Hieronius, you would know what a brooch of Hieronius looks like. You are able to identify 2 or 3 of these, one of them, in fact, being Hieronius. You also see Cord, as he is well worshipped. You also do see the symbol of Helm, because you are familiar with that from your earlier travels. There are quite a few others that you do not recognize. All of these structures, very large, the largest being to Hieronius, which sort of runs right, is one of the very first ones on the left as you enter into the square. And if you recall your first day when you came up the Stoneward Rush, there was a long, sort of all but blank wall on one side of the Stoneward Rush right before Matron Square. That is the outside wall of the Temple of Hieronius, as it is quite large. not quite cathedral size, but it's a big church. When you get right down to it, you do see prominently displayed the symbolism of Hieronius, and you do see two paladins in brightly shined full plate armor standing to either side of two probably 18-foot tall doors that are slung open, huge stone doors inlaid with precious metal. There leads into what would be a what seems to be a very large church that just due to the size of it and its stone construction appears darker, of course, inside than the daylight outside that's now breaking through the fog. Standing in the center, of course, is the matron's cistern stone, which you had seen multiple times on your travels up and down the Stoneward Rush.
All right, so first things first. Celia sneakily just like takes the medallion off of her neck,
Okay.
puts it in her pocket because she doesn't want anybody asking her questions about Corellin that she won't know the answer to.
Gotcha. Okay. You do not see actually you don't see on this main sort of array of the sort of front line of temples anything to Corellian, but you can see that there are smaller shrines and temples sort of interspaced between them, and also paths that lead back to other smaller churches or temples sort of like a second outer row here on Matron's Square, which isn't actually a square at all. It's a semicircle.
She will first she's gonna kind of look around and again look to see if she can see anyone with the symbol to Falminari.
Do me an investigation check.
I believe in you, Celia. I don't believe in you, Celia.
On a 12, you really don't. Most of the people around here this early in the morning, and it is a weekday morning. Let me just double check. I believe it is Friday. On this Friday morning, doesn't seem to be a lot of people, a lot of call to worship. There's always a few parishioners who are very dutiful in their daily prayers. Of some of those, the main people you see here is quite a few acolytes. You see people. Actually, what you notice the most of is the number of people of, I would say, lesser status than you're accustomed to on the Stoneward Rush. Most of those people are very well dressed. These are not people who are terribly poorly dressed, but quite. There is definitely a difference, and you see them at the matron cistern stone, which you see them drawing water in small pitchers and basins. People getting their daily water that has collected from the fog over the night. You in fact see several different acolytes, maybe chaplains, other members of definitely religious robes out there, scooping up and pouring water into people's awaiting pitchers, tubs, containers that they might have as the morning begins here in Matron Square.
All right. Hello, Vax. Then Celia will go over to one of the acolytes.
Okay, just any random one?
Yep, random acolyte number 562.
Okay, random acolyte number 516. You go over, you do see a hooded acolyte there, and they sort of are two mainly dipping in and then sort of quickly as people sort of put their basin, sort of put their container on the ledge on the side of the basin, fills it up, and then turns back. And you go over and tap them on the shoulder? Or how do you get their attention?
I just kind of walk over and I say, "Excuse me,"
Um,
as sweetly as Celia can.
they sort of turn to you, but don't turn all the way around. And may I help you?
She says, I'm looking for a couple. I was told that I could look here.
A specific someone in the someone who's part of the clergy.
I'm not sure. I was sent here to leave to like I was sent to Falcon's Crest to leave a message for this couple, and I was just told that they were in Falcon's Crest. I wasn't given any specifics.
Oh, well, perhaps at the Falinari embassy, and they've now turned all the way around, and you see looking at you a water genasi.
Celia smiles and well,
It is a young
and
it is a young boy wearing these acolyte robes.
She just like nods and she says, have you seen any like moon elves that have, and she'll just like start describing her parents as best as she can.
He just kind of smiles at you, and he kind of like just like takes his hand and just like spreads around. You know, most of the elves that are full elves, and even a lot of the half elves, are of moon elf heritage. And sort of seeing you as a sun elf, you're kind of the one who stands out here, and he's trying not to be rude, but he's like, no, or yes, all of them. Trying not to be smart, but he's kind of being smart.
Yeah, he is. She kind of looks around. She goes, yeah.
Are they worshippers of Hieronius? And he sort of points to his medallion, around his neck and his robes. We could ask inside, but I mean, if that's, he kind of is just like, what do you want me to do here? I'm an acolyte now. I'm happy to help. You totally are getting the he's happy to help vibe, but he doesn't know how to help you.
Yeah. She just kind of is just like, yeah, I don't have much information about them. Like, I know their names and I know their description, and that they're in Falcon's Crest. That's all I know.
Perhaps the Falinari embassy would be the way to go then. I mean, a good thought if if they're devoted worshippers, that they always come to prayers, that would be something, I guess. Do you need water?
She smiles and says, no, thank you. I'm okay. Leave it for these folks. I don't want to take their water. And she chuckles and just says, I'll go check the embassy. Thank you for your help.
For sure. And there's plenty for everyone. And if you need water or anything else, the Temple of Hieronius is here to help.
She looks at the temple and then looks to the water
Do
genasi.
me an investigation check as you look at the temple.
Okay. 25.
On a 25, you can see where on a 25, yeah, you definitely see the traditional symbol of Hieronius. At one point, fairly recently, or within the last decade or so, had been something else placed over top of it. In fact, maybe plastered over top of it, and then has now been removed. And it looks as though it was a circle that had been that the Hieronius' symbol had been plastered over with a circular shape, and then now that has been removed to restore Hieronius' symbol back to be the prevalent symbol above the doors of the church.
Celia just, whenever she notices that, she kind of tilts her head a bit and she looks to the water genasi and just kind of points to it and says, "What happened there?"
He gets a little, I won't say he gets a little stuttery. And then he sort of says, almost like he's reciting doctrine. We acknowledge our history and we move forward. We acknowledge our history and we move forward. The Temple of Hieronius was a part of the purity for some time. That is no longer a mission that we accept, and we still are in the process of paying our penance for having enabled many of the horrors that happened there to families and to my peers, sort of referring to his genasi self.
Celia kind of nods and she holds out her hand and for him to shake it, and she says she just kind of leans in a bit and in a whisper she says, "My sister is one of your peers."
Oh. You'll be happy to know that Hieronius is now leading the way for us to better standing in the world. It was a dark time. I don't know. And he sort of looks at you, and having said that you were looking for someone, are you missing your sister?
She blinks. I'm going to insight check.
Okay. On a 21.
She's in. Yeah. She wants to know if there's any if she tells the truth, if there's any ill will.
Yeah, no, and he does seem concerned, and is very much still trying to be helpful, as though almost this is something that he's heard before. Hey, Twilights! something that he's heard before, and you might not be the only one. So he looks at you and goes, "We don't have all the names, but perhaps you should speak with one of our chaplains who can tell you more about what happened here."
Celia nods a bit, and because this is about her sister, she pulls him in for a hug.
He absolutely hugs back. And both again, probably having heard similar stories to this before, but the fact that you're hugging a Genasi, which literally 5 years ago would have been unheard of. 10 years ago, I mean, there was much worse things happening. Being touched seems to definitely mean something. And he, come, let me take you inside.
Yeah, Celia's gonna follow after. Definitely.
Yeah. So, this water genasi does not take you actually in through the front doors. Sort of takes you around to the side, which sort of would be kind of like the rectory type idea, sort of where maybe the brothers and the clergy might actually live, and takes you in through sort of a side door, through a small garden. There actually are a few plants here, which surprises you, as there's very little greenery here. They are sort of succulents. They aren't like, it's not like rose bushes, but it's, the fact that there's green things here at all is something based, due to water and truly just lack of soil. But it takes you in through a few archways into sort of an outdoor courtyard. You see another sort of smaller cistern stone there, into sort of a square courtyard that has a colonnade, facing inwards. Somewhat similar, I mean, not to bring up bad memories, but somewhat similar to the colonnade that was in the monastery of St. Cuthbert from way back when. Sort of, a lot of religious structures sort of have almost that sort of same kind of layout, and takes you over to an arched entryway that has a door in it, and rings a bell, as again there's not wood to knock on here, so a lot of cases you do have bells. Sort of rings a bell that's hanging there, and you hear a voice, yes, who is there? And you hear the water. It's Alan Goth. I have someone who's looking for someone. And he looks to you and goes, this is Brother Fandrin. He has been helping people find each other. And you see sitting in a very small sort of cloistered cell that has a small shrine on it. An older man, plump, not rotund, but definitely carrying some extra weight. Still broad of shoulder. Probably at one point was either a knight or a paladin, but has now become more into the service side of Hieronius's temple, and there's a few chairs in here, not many. A small desk. It's actually sort of facing the wall, so you're not like across from each other across a desk. It's a desk against a wall, and then another sitting chair beside it. There's this small sort of kneeling platform where he was kneeling in front of a small shrine, and he presses himself up and turns around. Actually has very thick silver hair. Doesn't seem to be balding at all. Actually has a big, thick, really sort of lush, hair that has gone silver, hangs down around right here, well kempt, clean shaven, definitely showing his age, human, and looks to you and please come in.
Yep, Celia will step in, walk over, and hold her hand out, say, "Hi, I'm Celia Rollerin."
Hello, I'm Brother Fandrin. It's a pleasure to meet you. I hear you're looking for someone.
Yeah. He told me that y'all have a list of names?
As many as we've been able to gather. There was a time during the culling where names didn't matter, much less people's lives. The best place for that time to look and try to find if you lost someone is at the whale over on the cliffside, but we've tried to gather as much as we were responsible for after the culling and try to keep the names. Let me see, were they of air, fire, earth, or water? We tried to have some type of categorization.
She's Earth.
And you see him pull out a book. Given name?
Terra.
He flips through and flips through and flips through and... You say a girl, not a boy.
Yes.
We have a boy named Terra, but not a girl. Young. Would be only 16 now. Is that fit the time frame? We might have miscalculated. If you need help, I can help you on how old Terra is. She's 22.
Yeah, help me out here.
Yeah, Terra's 22. So
Okay.
this doesn't seem as though it's
so-
the same person yet.
Celia, kind of shakes her head. She says, "No, that's not her."
Well,
I was given word that that she was south of east, and her mind was being played with.
mind being played with. Oh. Well, I can't say that she was here, but I can tell you a little about what happened here. One of our bishops became obsessed with your people. He was sure that they were, as many have said, but we now know is untrue, stained, accursed people. People who only brought ill fortune with them. And was trying... We still don't know truly what he was trying to do, but he seemed to be of a purpose to cleanse those of... I guess we've heard a new term, genasi, apparently is the new... Many of them aren't children anymore. It does make sense to give your sister's people a name. But he became obsessed. And using the libraries here, he heard of an artifact from the Sylvan War. A staff of primordial power that seemed to be similar to the Children of the Lost, the Genasi, excuse me. He sent out a group using the histories and the records to recover it, if he could, from its last known location during the battle. And it was found. They brought it back here. He was our bishop at the time, and held much sway over the city and over our clergy and over our congregation. He started bringing Genasi here to the church. And having them be acolytes. They were a changed people. We were seeing these children, waifs from off the street, who were now smiling and praying, following the scripture. He created a chorus of them to sing. And it wasn't till later that we realized it wasn't that they were here of their own volition. They were bound to the staff. They found him one night in this sacred place, in the main church, with the chorus singing, wielding unimaginable power. Chaotic energies swirling around. And we saw that that energy was being drawn from those children in the chorus. Our chaplains surprised him. Was able to somehow overcome him and break the connection to those children. But as the connection was broken, they were falling to the ground and they ran to assist. And in the confusion, the bishop escaped with the staff. We hear he fled west. The Temple of Purity is still quite active. They've built something that they call a cathedral near Highmount, out in the Riverlands, where superstition still runs rampant, and the power of the Temple of Purity still is strong. Luckily, he took none of the Genasi from here in the east with him, so it is good to hear that your sister... Is your sister here? Where did you last see your sister?
She begins counting on her fingers. It's been years.
But she was here in Falinari when you left her.
No. She was in Zephyrbrook.
Where is that exactly? Is that in the west?
In the west.
Oh. Well, perhaps what you were told was so that you would know what you might face. Most certainly the staff clouded the minds of the Genasi. It also drew them to itself like a flame, like moths to a flame. I don't know what became of our bishop, but if he made it to the Cathedral of Purity in the west, perhaps that is where you can find your sister.
Do you know what city the cathedral is in?
It is not in a city. It is near Highmount. It is out in the Riverlands. It is all but Terra, a city in itself. A fortress for the Temple of Purity, guarding themselves against the evils of the world around them.
She nods and she says, thank you for your help. I have some friends, and she just kind of leans in. She says, would you like the circle around the symbol of Baronius taken care of?
Oh. We have had many offers to have magical means remove it. But if you forget your own sins, you're only bound to repeat them again. It is there for us to always remember how easily we were led down a path to wickedness. And so that our shame can also become our redemption. But I thank you. And he sort of nods his head.
Celia smiles and nods. She says, I need to head to the embassy now, but I thank you wholeheartedly for all of your help.
You're most welcome, and are always welcome here. Best of luck to
Thank you.
Celia.
Thank you. And she will leave the temple and thanking the water genasi on her way out.
Yep, you see Alangoth is there, is back out doing his duties by the cistern stone, and sort of gives you a nod as you go by. He's pouring out water to some of the folks who are there. Yeah.
Yep, and she will head towards the embassy.
As you head across the street, because it's pretty much right across the street, you are reminded of the gates and the access required to get into Sentinel Row. There are multiple guards of the Falcon's Crest and of the Talon Guard. In fact, there seem to be more today than even there were 2 days ago. You also see Arcana Mystica tabards of the Arcana Mystica.
Other way.
Yeah. So it's the guards. There were before only like probably 3 just regular Talon Guard. You now have more like 6 Talon Guard and 2 Arcana Mystica tabard Talon Guard members as well. Sorry.
Yeah, no, she's not gonna deal with Arcana Mystica right now. She will wait for a day that they are gone, but she still needs that access letter. So she's gonna go see our I can't remember his name. Dang it. Our friend who we brought whiskey to.
Okay, Linford, yeah.
Linford, yeah.
Actually, and this is good. Do me a perception check as you go through the Windward Basin.
Oh, 11.
You keeping it, or are you gonna mulligan it?
Oh, I don't have one.
Oh, well, then never mind. Yeah, on a 11, you head through the Windward Basin, and with that, we are going to go back to our friends at the Tea Hive, and we'll say that probably about 30 minutes have passed. It's around around 9:30. That you guys are here in the Tea Hive. You can see the sort of like the morning rush has sort of come and gone. You see Astra just sort of leaning up against the bar real casually, just with a big old mug of tea. He's sort of looking at the mosaics on the wall and just kind of real content. Sort of big, long, slow sips of tea. Often takes a nice big inhale before enjoying it.
Oh. Muted would help not to be muted. So, you going to sit in here all day?
Not all day. Not all day. We'll get out and check out the rest of the place. I'm sure there's some interesting sights to see as well.
Well,
I tried to look at Itzka and then notice the stairs.
Oh, you see, like whenever Astra lifts his mug to drink, like it's subconsciously like Iska's doing the same thing.
Like, we got the heavy lane with the hard eyes. I think she's taken. I think she's smitten for.
This is what my wife looked like first time she saw me. Absolutely.
Oh, that's adorable. That is cute. That is some cute stuff.
Yeah. That is, yeah.
Me and Lucky was discussing where should we head next.
Well, Luck's got a lesson if you're feeling up for it, but if you're not, it's totally understandable. We can.
I think I've got a good hold on this. The tea's helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be sure to thank Astra before we go.
Okay, cool.
You sure you don't want to spend any more time with Astra?
No, we'll come back and do our course.
Yeah, we'll come back and do our course over the weekend.
There'll be
It's
plenty
tomorrow.
of time for that.
Hey, just an idea. It might help. I've noticed you have grain with you wherever you go. How about you take the cat with you as well to the class? You know, if it really is helping ground you, it might help.
Is
Have
it
the
gonna
kitty
be
there.
weird to have this cat? Is this a?
It's a big cat.
It doesn't do much.
Is this a normal cat?
It's like a
giant-
bobcat-sized cat, and actually, like a bobcat, I mean, a little bit more fey in the ears than a bobcat, but it does like long fey sort of ears and sort of long tendrils at the top. But I mean, it looks like just sort of a big, sort of gray, but then with like the dark gray, almost I don't know what they're called. They're like stripes across the back, but it's sort of like a gray with the
Egyptian
darker
mouse.
gray. I know there's a breed that's called, but yeah.
But have we seen like something like this out and about or walking
Oh,
around?
you've never seen a
people
cat
with-
like this out and about. I mean, you have seen people with pets. They are a little bit rare up here, like you said, because like animals and stuff. But no one seems to have been bothered by Grain riding around on Luck's shoulder.
Okay.
I mean, you're going to an orphanage with kids. I mean, you could be like show and tell or something. I mean, you could always have a good excuse.
Yeah.
Maybe we could get. Hey, Iska, maybe you could ask your new friend Astra if he knows a place where we can get a leash for the cat. Get him a collar as well.
Gonna leash the cat? Good. Okay, this is gonna be a good check. I can't wait for this check. Wait, I didn't say that out loud.
What did you say? We didn't hear anything.
Right.
Yeah. Do you want me to flag? Do you want me to flag him over?
No, I'll go. It's like you hear the chair scooch again.
Yeah.
across the ground.
He's-
Now, look, I know, Grain is well trained, but I have no idea about the cat. It's just a
How-
thing he had with him.
Yeah. That sounds like just what he does. It's stuff that he has that do stuff. I'm pretty sure that's just been what he does, is have things that do things.
Yeah, it makes sense. There's just no meaning. It's always up in the air. Oh, look, here she goes. Well, I'll bet you a whiskey
You see,
that she thumbles.
you actually see Astra has like pulled a couple locks of this long sort of dark hair, sort of auburn color hair, and is sort of braiding them into a thing, just kind of putting them together, and as you know, he's sort of fishing up and you know, having a sip of thing. How's your morning going?
It's and she like saddles up on the.
There's a stool there, yeah.
Oh, well, she saddles up and like she leans on the like shelf or the. Why am I blanking on this word? The counter. The counter.
Because
That's what I'm
Iska's blanking on the word.
Yeah, she goes to the counter and like goes to lean on it and goes, "It's good. It's really well. This tea is fantastic, and I am, as you called it, a tea aficionado. This is some of the best I've ever had in my entire life."
Well, I'm sure glad that you're enjoying it. That makes me really happy. That makes my day, I can tell you.
Hey, we are definitely interested in those classes. I would love to sign up for that. I can prepay or whatever you need. I just...
Don't you worry about it. I trust you. Looks like y'all made yourself right at home over there at the Bee and Berry table. I'll I'll keep it reserved for you. Whenever y'all come in, so you've got a nice place that you can call home. And as you see, as he sort of finishes off with his braid, he sort of starts to kind of like do a kind of nice thing up on top of his head, so it kind of kind of fancy, sort of putting his hair up and not necessarily making it into a bun, but almost making it kind of crown-like, just kind of like a nice design as it's long enough to do things with.
My friend was wondering if is there some sort of shop here where we could buy. He's got a new pet and wants to leash it, get some control as we walk through the city. Is there anything like that around here? Could you recommend something?
Well, there's some. Sure, there's some leatherworking shops where you could find something like that. Terrible thing to put an animal on a leash, though, don't you think?
I agree, and I will do what I can to talk him out of it.
I mean, the dog seems like it's perfectly happy just riding along.
I know. I mean,
Isn't that the life, though? Yeah, just kind of riding along.
Raises her glass to like kind of cheers him.
Yeah, he takes a big sip. Do you need one to go? Why don't you take one with you?
That would be lovely.
And here, let me get you one of my to-go mugs. And it's like his to-go mugs are like a true, actual mug, but the way that the top fits down on it. So, I mean, it's almost like ours, but it's like as though if you had a pottery type mug that did this. And magic works. Magic's in here. It sort of seals shut. So he like fits you in. So now, did you like that golden honey, or would you like something a little bit richer for your trip out?
The golden was great, but if you have,
I see you're a singer. It's great for the throat.
That's perfect. Yes, I would gladly take some to go. Well, we'll be back because the table, the and then the class. But thanks, thank you. We'll be back. Thank you for the mug.
You have mighty fine day. You take care of yourself, and don't let it get to you. Whatever you're facing, you can handle it.
Goodbye.
Look like goes into his pouch. Buy yourself a nice bottle. As it's just a gold piece.
Let's just take it. Just like, all right, this is mine.
Okay.
First gold I've earned.
Comes back. We have the table reserved, and the courses are reserved too.
I also have a whiskey to get.
Why?
Well, no reason.
Shoots a glance at Luck.
He has gold.
Anyways.
He earned it fair.
He recommended a leatherworking shop, but I mean, he did recommend, not placing an animal in bondage like that. And like, who's to argue with someone as knowledgeable as him? But it's your pet. You do with it as you will. But I just think that would be a terrible thing to do. But she says, trying to.
Yeah, you see Astra's like basically braiding another one, and he's sort of looking over at the wall, and kind of like you can see that he's kind of like figuring out that he wants to paint something on the wall that he has obviously painted. This other wall to match.
I don't have to make an insight check to tell her that she's smitten.
I don't think the party's seen Iska like this ever. So.
He's gonna get up, he's gonna walk around and put his arm around Iska and be like, we'll be back.
You've been technically you've been dating for 2 days.
More than Iska has. Technically. Is that right, buddy?
If you need any advice, talk to the man who has over 30 years of experience.
So, as you talk about romance and tea, in much better spirits than you were up to. I mean, Luck is all but, it's almost in the back of his mind.
Madad's full of crap.
Yeah. You guys make your way to the orphanage. And as you come in, you see that the same groups have started to gather. There's one main difference. This time...
Can I keep an eye out for Celia?
Sure. Do a perception check. I'm trying to think which direction she's going. Y'all are going...
Ooh.
It's gonna
On
be
a 19,
high.
I mean, the reality is y'all aren't crossing paths at all. Y'all are heading down. I mean, you really are not crossing paths at all. But you're pretty sure you didn't see her along your way. Let's put it here. She didn't get by you. But so you guys enter in, and the kids have gathered already inside. Y'all are just making it just barely in time at 10 o'clock. And as you come in, you can see some of the kids start running upstairs where Iska has been, had taught them music before. And you see the other groups sort of gathering in a circle over where over where the reading lessons were before. And you as you come in, Iska, and you sort of keeping an eye on Luck, you see him walk over, and you see one girl, little tiny girl, sort of run up, and sort of itty bitty little Abigail runs over to look over at Luck and sort of look up with these big giant glasses, and she has all her reading materials. And you see another sort of fairly athletic looking taller girl run over with pink hair, and she looks over at you, and you notice her. You notice her braids and her feature. This pink-haired girl is from Qualvarine. And that is where we're going to end our session.
We just had a good time, motherfucker. Why take this away from me?
It's not bad yet. She's just Qualvarine. She's just Qualvarine.
It's just.
She is a good girl.
Anyway, thank you guys, everyone, for tuning in to our session today. Kind of relaxed, laid-back session. Kind of like Astra, just wants to kick back, have a little tea with friends, tell a story. And anyway, why don't we go around quick and see what people thought of their session. We got some good plot moving forward with Celia. So let's start with Tree Hugging Druid.
Hi. You can go follow me on Twitter. I'll post it in chat. I had to play Celia, not Celia. She was trying to be all nice and get information from people. But you know how it is. She has to be nice every once in a while. But yeah, you can go follow me on Twitter. I don't really tweet things, but I retweet whenever people are streaming. You can find me here on Saturdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also find me on Kyle's channel this Wednesday.
Yeah, you can.
Early in the morning for me, late at night for him.
I have the upper hand.
For
like-
once, the other way around.
At 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Wednesday, where I play an absolutely amazing ASMR Celestial Warlock that even though she told them not to get attached to her, they're getting attached to her and wanting her to stay. But because it's already been announced on stream, Angel has to die. So, no big deal. And then you can also find me on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Seb09's channel on Mixer, where I play Marnie / Gypsy Bright, a little human bard rogue. She's last I knew she fell into a vat of dead bloody corpses, which is great. So so go see what happens with her.
Awesome. Next up, Good Guy Pie.
There we go. What just a lovely little session we had today, right? You know, it started off a little tense, but we got through it. You know, with the support and help from those around us, because that's what we need, really, is support just from around us. It gets a bit dark, but there's always that nice little stream in there to help things move forward. I'm sorry, I'm Good Guy Pie. I got Astra is an amazing NPC, look, Iska, if that is not your husband in the next, let's say 12 sessions, we've got an issue. You can catch me Twitter on Too Good To Guy, tweeting about things. You can catch me on Good Guy Pie on the Twitches when I do stream. And of course, you can catch me here every Saturday doing my lovely, lovely thing of playing Look Goldheart and just having a wonderful little time. Also, don't worry about that little Wolverine girl. She's just going to be there with a happy little pink hair. Iska's going to love the little happy pink hair. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Bird versus Plane.
Hey folks, I'm Bird vs. Plane. This was a really fun session. Oh god, we had some tense shit with luck. We had some great stuff with Celia. Holy cow. I'm very excited to go back to Highmount and mess up the Cathedral of Purity and mess up that bishop who we've run into. And I'm glad to play Bubbly and love Iska. That's fun. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch at Bird vs. Plane. You can find me Mondays on Encounter Roleplay, Tuesdays on Unmade Gaming, Saturdays here, and every once in a while, including like 45 minutes, an hour from now on my channel, playing some Divinity. So come hang out.
Yep. Next up, last but not least, Dragons or Cats?
I had to check if I was muted then, but it wasn't, so I was very happy about that. Hi, I am Dragons Are Cats, and I was playing the wonderful Vidar Lycran, and I can't wait to see Celia dropkick Astra, and then we all go out on a double date together, because it will be cute AF. You can catch me on my channel, Dragons Are Cats, and on Twitter as Dragons Are Cats, also on Instagram. Everything's becoming Dragons Are Cats nowadays, because branding. Wednesday nights, like Jeanette said, times 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard, 5 a.m. your time for Eastern Standard, yada yada. Good session, guys. Good session. I am tired.
Thanks for getting up for us. I didn't thank you when you first logged on, but our good Australian friend who is up at 4 a.m. to play with us in our fun game.
That's much better lighting. Look at that sun.
Here. There you go.
Yeah. Look at that natural light.
And anyway, I am Tall Squall. I had a great time today. I love kind of just story sessions that we get to go through. Got to do a little but not too huge of a plot drop, so that was good. And Astra has been someone who's been in the making for a long time. And I'm glad that we finally got the party to the Tea Hive, and that you all had fun with him as well. So anyway, once again, we are run our channel 100% for charity. This month we are supporting Project Semicolon. Any and all donations are welcome and are a huge help. But more importantly, if you do find yourself in need of help and need to reach out to someone, there are 2 numbers down below. They are always available on my station, and those people there are available 24/7. You are never alone. Your story is not over. Just like Project Semicolon says, there is more to your story yet to be told. So stick around with us if you are feeling that you are in a untenable place. And until next time, gather your friends together and tell a story, because that's what life's all about. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone. We are going to go raid somebody. Don't know who quite yet. Give me a second. Hang out in the chat, and we will go jump and raid someone, because lots and lots of great D&D streamers are out there. So hang out. We won't be here, but stay in chat, because we are going to go raid. Bye-bye.